Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing this adorable card featuring the new Guac On stamp and die set from the Essentials by Ellen line. These stamps and dies are available exclusively at ellenhutson.com. I will have links to everything used in this project in the YouTube description below, so be sure to check there if you're looking for something in particular. But when I saw this stamp set, I knew that I would be getting tons of mileage out of it. I love guacamole. I love avocados. I'm a California girl. It's kind of a California thing. We just love our avocados here and we love rain. So that's how it is. So I started my card out by die cutting a piece of Neenah Solar White heavyweight cardstock using the Essential Rectangle dies from the Essentials by Ellen line. And now I have the outline portion of this avocado. There are two avocados in this Guac On stamp set. There's a larger and a smaller one. I'm using the smaller one here. And I'm stamping this outline and creating a pattern on this rectangle using the Catherine Pooler Deck the Halls ink. This is a really beautiful kind of evergreen ink. I really love this color. It is one of my favorite greens. And you can see as I'm building up my pattern, I'm kind of twisting and turning the stamp, nestling it into itself, and allowing some of the images and a lot of the images to kind of bleed off the edge of the paper to give it that pattern paper look. Now, once I have all the outlines stamped, I'm going to go back in with the solid filler piece. And this time I'm using the Catherine Pooler Green Tea ink. These two inks look fabulous together for these avocados. And you can see that as I stamp this in here, I am not being overly careful about making sure it lines up perfectly. I think it gives it a little bit of character, if not everything is perfect, with a stamp set that's designed like this with both an outline and the filler piece. So I'm just kind of filling these all in, and then I will go in with the center portion, the seed of the avocado. You could do two things here. You could go with a brown to make it look like the seed, or you could go with a green to make it look like the seed has been removed. So whatever you prefer. And I am stamping this in Catherine Pooler over coffee ink, and my ink pad here really needs to be re-inked. It's a little bit on the light side, so I actually went back in and double stamped all of these seed pieces. Or are they called seeds? They are seeds, right? For a girl who loves avocados, I don't know. For all of a sudden I just felt like, is that really what they're called? Anyway, we're going to move on here, and we're going to use the Essentials by Ellen High Five stamp set. I have this great speech bubble and the Catherine Pooler Do-Si-Do ink. Now, if you saw over on the ellenhutson.com YouTube channel, I did a Carissa on Color. I've started a new series, and this Do-Si-Do ink made one of my top picks for pink stamping inks. I absolutely love it. You can see I used the coordinating die to die cut that speech bubble. And now I'm going to stamp another avocado to die cut and mount on top of that speech bubble. I could have done this earlier when I was stamping my pattern, but quite honestly, I didn't think of it. So I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants when I'm creating, and whatever comes out, comes out. And so this is what came out today. I'm using some purple tape to hold my die in place, and then I'll run it through my Gemini Junior to die cut it. And you can see I'm building up my layout here. I'm going to have this in the lower right hand corner of that speech bubble. And on top of the speech bubble, I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss my sentiment. Now, I am using the You're So Extra sentiment from the stamp set. I think it's hilarious. And I've prepped the surface with my powder tool, stamped that in Versamark ink, and now I'm adding my Brutus Monroe Gilded embossing powder, and then I'm going to heat set that. Now, I do want to caution you, with a sentiment like this, you probably need to know your audience. You may not want to give this to just anybody, so just, make sure you know your audience. Now at this point, I thought it would be fun to actually make the seed of this avocado that I've die cut gold. So I went ahead and stamped over that brown ink in some Versamark ink, added the gilded embossing powder once again, and then heat set that. Now, I love to create a great stamped background, and I think this avocado makes a great stamped background. But what is even cooler than stamping that is filling in the background with a color, and that's what I'm doing today. It's going to give you that legit pattern paper look. Now, you can see how slowly I'm moving around these stamped images. I'm taking my time. I'm using a very light pink COPIC marker, and I'm just coloring in the background. Now, there's not a ton of white space on this. There's a lot. But I think that this pink background really added to the beauty of this card. I love the pinks and the greens together, and at the end you're going to see me throw in a little bit of yellow as well. I had picked my color palette out in advance, and that yellow, I really just wanted a pop of that. And you can see how it really changes the look of this rectangle. Now, my Copic marker was a little on the dry side, so I did go over a lot of the areas twice, but look how cool that is. It looks like you stamped on like pink cardstock, or it looks like you're using a legit pattern paper, and I love that. And it's kind of got that animation style. I really love the way that this base turned out. Now I'm mounting my avocado to my speech bubble using some foam adhesive, and then I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back of that speech bubble and add it to the center of my panel here. You could always use less foam adhesive if you prefer a more male friendly card. I like a lot of dimension, so I tend to use a lot of dimension on my card. And I'm also going to mount that panel onto my card base using foam adhesive as well. So this girl don't shy away from foam adhesive, but keep in mind any of these layers could be glued directly down to the layer below it to slim it up a little bit. Now I am using a side folding A2 size card base today. So my cardstock is cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And when I put this on there, I really felt like I needed another pop of gold. So I used the Essential rectangle die that's a little bit larger than the one that I cut my white panel out of in the beginning. And I die cut this gold cardstock, and I'm temporarily adhering the center portion of this rectangle onto my card base, and that's going to help me place my frame onto the card base without it getting all wonky. And this is one of the reasons that I love the Essentials by Ellen Essential Shape dies. They cut not only the shape, this rectangle here, but they also cut this really fine frame every time you die cut. So you get 2 for 1, and I love that. Now I'm mounting the panel onto my card base using the foam adhesive, as I mentioned before, and I'm going to add a little yellow heart to add that pop of yellow here. It's kind of a gold yellow. It's Sauna by Catherine Pooler Ink, and that heart stamp is from the All Inside stamp set from ellenhutson.com. Now I added some clear droplets over the top, or some clear enamel dots over the top of the seeds on the background. And I wanted to pull in that clear kind of effect onto that gold piece that I did. And so I covered it with glossy accents, and that was a huge mistake. It was so ugly when it dried. I did not like the glossy accents over the gold embossing powder. So I just went back, re-stamped the gold seed, cut it out using the coordinating die, and popped it up on my avocado to fix that mistake. And that completes my card for today. I love this pattern paper effect that you can get with stamps. And stamps like this that have both the outline and the filler image, these are really great for creating these pattern paper like effects on your card. And then when you go in with that Copic marker in the background, it is just like, it's the bee's knees. Now, as I mentioned before, I will have the featured products used in this project listed in the YouTube description. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I will have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. And if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you would share it with a friend. Once again, thanks for watching. I'm so glad you're here, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.